Okay, again, I'm kind of in here to do the energy report. It's going to take me a while to get used to this format, but I'm in for the energy report. I'm doing it live because I just am. So I got a few cards here I laid out. A bit of a surprise. I was working with Metatron here, and we got a deck done in the last week. So I'm kind of wanting to show it off here. It's makeshift, so bear with me. But we do have, the general idea and whatnot. So I'm gonna pan over here to the card cam. These are the layouts. So I left them. Give me a minute here. I left them as is, and we're going to flip as we go here. I'm going to start with the Isis deck, as I usually do when I'm doing energy readings. And we got 3 cards. There's one here while I was shuffling for clarification on these cards. They told me to leave it out. There's a special energy there that wants to come forth. And then we have some bumper cards for the end. Okay, I'm going to get ready to go here. Hopefully this all fits in good. Okay. So first card we have on the Isis deck here is I'm going to need my glasses, is the Lunar Queen. She of the celestial crescent. So we'll leave that, go forward here. This is the beginning energy. When I make a pyramid spread, this is the top of the pyramid is the paramount energy that goes to the rest of the reading. So it's the most important, most prominent energy. So the Lunar Queen. And then I'll read here from the book on these 3 cards, and then I'll go from instinct on the rest here. The Lunar Queen. Give me a moment here. And we'll see, because a lot of these have some intricate messages. I just can't remember everything. And then I go from instinct on the rest. So if you're joining me, thanks. I'm going to look into the comments here in case not many people know about me going out, so probably not many going to come in. LM, Lunar. Oh, you know what? It goes under the TH, yeah. Okay, here we go. So the Lunar Queen, that's this one here. Hopefully that's coming in. Yeah, it's coming in pretty good. I could do that. Does that help? A little bit? Okay. There is a deep feminine wisdom that recognizes the importance of cycles, of rest, and of replenishment as essential balancing to our actions of power and demonstration. You are asked to allow this replenishment for yourself now, trusting that you are in a cycle of creation that is about to shift into a new phase. Release and enjoy the process without having to control or force it. Man, there's a lot that comes from this. First of all, knowing what I know when the feed that I get off these entities. Okay. Basically, this feminine energy is really coming across, sweeping through here. We're talking mostly everything that I push comes from compassion. Now, this is talking about rest and rejuvenating so that we get ready for what is coming. And I feel like people in their personal lives, not only personal, but in their own lives, in their family units, whatever relationships that you have around you, we're having to deal with a rest cycle. Okay. It says Isis as Lunar Queen understands the cycle of creative power and flow. Sometimes it can be hard to let go of desire to force control and make things happen, to exert might and willpower to bring what you wish for into being by sheer determination, exertion, and force. Yet the vast creative power of the feminine principle is in honoring the flowing with cycles of activity, rest, and releasing, force, and surrendering into the perfection of what is happening right now. Releasing that this actually brings us divine manifestation and creation more effortlessly and gracefully to greater effect. So this really does talk about changing, like the Lunar Queen, right? What is the lunar? What does the moon do? It constantly shifts in and out of phases with feminine energy and grace, right? Just give me a minute. I'm flowing with what they're giving me here. So, yeah. So, okay. Really what they're saying here is that we have change coming upon us, and it is going into the feminine energies here. Worldwide, we're talking, okay? Now, this feminine energy change shift, how do I express that? There's changes happening. It would be best to use the feminine energies to adjust to this change, is really what I'm getting. If we do that, we will be of more to kind of accept things, be accepting rather than in a masculine energy of wanting to take charge and take action. Just be in more of an accepting energy. And watch the lunar cycles because they create a heavy energy. I mean, I'm coming here, it's the 21st, coming in here for a reason. The 22nd, I'll be flat out. I have a high connection to lunar energy as well. A lot of people get highly affected. Your blood runs faster. Your energy is heightened, can be, certain people, depending on their planetary aspects, right? So this all happens. So it may affect you in a different way. Now it is Aquarius, this blue moon coming in here. This is something that's just not going to happen for a long time. And it's abrupt positive change here. And those that are in the know, those that are, how do you say, moving forward, so to speak, are going to be catapulted into their new lives. And those that are having a hard time struggling, they're going to be creating the loops, the karmic loops. They'll be going and just kind of sifting through that to see when they've gotten to the point of learning here. Okay, so we'll go to the next card here. And we get, wow, the Knot of Isis. Energetic stabilization with the buckle of the beloved. This is also can be known as the Ankh, the symbol of the Ankh. So I'm going to look that one up. The Knot of Isis. There it is. It's interesting. They got the Ankh and another as the key of life. Yeah, well, okay. The Knot of Isis, energetic stabilization with the buckle of the beloved. So each initiate has their own unique spiritual blueprint with particular skills, talents, and higher destinies unfolding that use their unique attributes. Part of your spiritual blueprint is a special relationship to the energies of the goddess. And this means that not only do you have the important spiritual task of helping her thrive in the world, but you are afforded her power, protection, and abundance too. You are now deepening your connection to her. Now it's interesting, they keep referencing her and this feminine energy. And I think that's the thing. If you are in a feminine energy of compassion, caring, and offering your services outward, because really, not that these can't flip, and they do flip, and not that we are in one energy and not another. We are a mix of both. It's just sometimes there's a balance, sometimes there's an imbalance. When they're talking about this deepening the connection, I feel like that's your connection to that spiritual side, whether however you want to justify, God, uh, Christ consciousness, universal energy, whatnot. That thing that is bigger than yourself, that thing that is more powerful than yourself, that part is really in depth here. Now I feel it coming on the how do I express? Okay, I'm going to go back here a bit. I came across some information recently. This guy, what's his name? Sam the Illusionist, I think is his name. And he would, if I got my story right, he used to be a hypnotist and he got into channeling, and these things happen, right, with these hypnotists, because they come into this world, they're going into that world. And then it's like, whoa, there's a different world than we logically think in there. So anyway, I've come across this guy. He does a lot of channeling, and a lot of this stuff, man, it's just really what I'm getting as well. So I've been watching his videos. So if you catch that or are interested in the depths here, go and look at some of the stuff he's put out. I mean, you may or may not resonate with that. I highly do. And he takes a lot of stuff from Metatron, and that is where I'm going, yeah, that's the same dude I'm talking. He's telling me the same stuff, So it just was kind of a wake-up call for me. It's like, okay, this is valid here. And this makes sense. So I was very happy to come across this guy. And a lot of it is really the same stuff I'm getting. So if you want an expansion of that, I would say go there. Now, this knot of Isis. Okay, as we get back into this. Energetic stabilization in the buckle of the beloved. So it's just really, I feel this is talking about connecting to a partnership, a higher sense of that. And it's interesting because I feel like the Lunar Queen, we're talking about the feminines here, and also the feminine aspect within the masculines, waking up and connecting to that partnership. I feel like that's what's going on here. There's a balance that needs to be struck here. So if we have a lot of men in their how do you say, heavy masculine energy, there's going to be a balancing out of the feminine within them. They're going to it's just going to naturally evolve to be seen, the feminine side within them. And if they don't embrace that, they may miss out on the relationship that can be of a balance to them. Or they may wake up to that and then be divinely guided in that way. Because if they can receive the information and use the guidance to go forward in compassion, they will. I feel like this knot is really talking about, these partnerships like twins and soulmates and whatnot that I've since 2018, I've been like, yeah, we're coming, they're coming in the fall, and it's like the fall comes and goes and everybody's still stuck in their repetitive patterns. Well, I feel like that push is finally pushing people beyond what their normal karmic patterns are. How do I say that? They're going, it's the wrong choice of words, but beyond, they're really amping up the cycles here. If you're not in the right place, your awareness is being amped. So we're going to see things more clearly through our own instinct. We're suddenly our senses are heightening. So suddenly we can't put up with things that we could put up with 6 months ago or even 6 weeks ago. These are things that are coming down. So that push is pushing into the fall here. And that's in the relationship area quite highly. I get that. And it is because we're amping up the feminine side, whether you're masculine or feminine, or whether you're feminine with a masculine energy, we're amping up the feminine. That part of you is going to be heightened to a degree where we feel our compassion higher. We're going to realize and have empathy for people more. We're going to be more caring, more considerate, wanting to help people more. This part of us is going to evolve to a degree that we get closer to that partner that we're meant to be with, soulmate or no. Now, I'm going to read one more paragraph. So it says, you are under the spiritual guidance, and this is the knot of Isis here. You are under the spiritual guidance and protection of the divine feminine. Part of your high destiny this lifetime is to heal and flourish through the divine feminine in her many forms. I'm going to break here because I'm getting a stream. Basically, yes, some of these masculines just not letting that energy through, needing to heal that part of themselves, or a part of them that rejects that part outside of them. You may have a masculine in an energy where they are rejecting the feminine, you know, and the flip can happen as well. But for this session here, I'm feeling quite highly a rejection of the feminine cycle coming through and wanting to really settle in the masculine. I'm feeling either there's been resistance up to now, but there's going to be an evolution of the process here where the masculine is going to start to take things in a different kind of way, because there's a better understanding of what is needed here in order to gain, you know, a relationship in the future. Okay, hopefully you're hanging with me. Okay, so I'm going to start over from the sentence here. It says, part of your high destiny. Part of your high destiny this lifetime is to heal and flourish through the divine feminine in her many forms, and especially in those forms that truly resonate and hold meaning for you. The healing will happen on your personal path and may well be part of the work that you will offer in service to the world, which may be simply in how you live your life. And that's what I feel is a heaviness here. They're going, yeah, because a lot of these people are going forth and they're, you know, some of them may be like, you know, this divine partnership path. There is no mission other than to live your life cleanly, meaning clearly, spiritually cleanly. So you go forward in dignity, loyalty, trust, on to kind of lay the path out for others to see. This is what a good relationship looks like. This is how people treat other people with respect and dignity. You could simply be doing it just for that, to be an example of a good, loving relationship. This is what those divine partnerships have the ability to do. So that can be your mission. But to be here, have a purpose, you know, job, career, you know, these things get kind of blown out of proportion. You just live your life and you're happy is really what they want you to do. And once you find that happy and you find that partner that is divinely the one that you know is that partner, and again, you have no doubt, then you live happily ever after. And that is the example. That really is. And you just set a vibration and tone for everybody else to kind of step in there. Oh, you know, because it's kind of like, okay, you got, who sets a trend, right? You go out and, okay, so say I go out and everybody's got black hair. So I go out and I wear blonde hair. And then somebody sees it and they go, I like that. I want blonde hair. So then they go and do it, or whatever, you know, or they wear bell bottoms, you know, who brings them back? Somebody just wears them like they like it. And then they go, gee, I like that. Where'd you get those? I don't know. I made them, you know, like whatever. And you start that, and that's where it comes from. And I feel like here, the root is, like I said, you could be a feminine having high masculine energy and be in rejection of the feminine self, needing to embrace that. And once that happens, we are that much closer to getting our divine partner, masculine or feminine. So as we carry on, man, these divine cards, they're heavy duty. Okay, the flower of life, what do you know? In my deck, I got these, there's a lot of repeats here. I didn't even realize, but nonetheless, divine creativity and manifestation. So creativity and manifestation. I'm going to give you a close-up of that because with glare or without. That's pretty powerful, right? The flower of life is sacred geometry. And that is where everything comes from. One, the essence, the flower, the seed, the germ of life, all of that. We went all through that this week, me and Mr. Metatron. I call him Mr., but Archangel Metatron. It was interesting. He gave me the opportunity to pick and choose. He'd say, well, I don't like that vibration and we can't attach it. But we were making the cards so that we could work together to bring the thought forms out to everyone. So I find it interesting because the flower of life was one that we kind of talked about a little bit. Anyway, divine creativity and manifestation. That's what they're putting to this card. And if we come across mine, you'll see what I put to it. But nonetheless, the creativity, that was another thing we're talking about as well. Creativity, when you think of that, that could be artistic flair. That could be literally life, creating life. That could be in a lot of different areas. We're talking about divine creativity. And one of the areas like to highlight as well, because the flower bursting to life, right, can be babies coming into life, right? New energetic forms, period. From cell division, right, all the way up to, you know, a body forming within another body. This is all part of that. And manifestation, the ultimate, right, is to manifest another human being. Again, divine feminine does that. And that is a huge accomplishment. You know, it's interesting because these are all conversations that I had with Metatron, like telepathic communications that we had, sitting here in silence, nobody else, right? And basically talking about the divine feminine, how the life is created is really taken for granted, because it is a huge miracle that life can be created in this way through the feminine body, and how it is just kind of run of the mill, and nothing about it is run of the mill, nothing. From all of the manifestation of the mind into the cell body, all of it is miraculous. So I feel like this is talking, we start with the Lunar Queen, which is the feminine energy in itself, and we go to the Knot of Isis, which depicts the coming together of a relationship, and the flower, which is the blooming of something. So really, ultimately, I feel like there may be a sense here of, if we have divine partnerships coming together, we're going to have a little bloom of babies coming about with these people that are coming into their divine partnerships, whether it's soulmate or twin or mirror soul or whatever have you there. And that's, yeah, very interesting. Very well done. Very well done. I say boys because Metatron is in masculine form, but again, everything has to be in balance. So that's your triad here for the Isis, because they never cease to amaze me, these cards. So we'll leave those here, and we'll go forward to the rest of the reading. Again, this is divine energy. So again, focusing on feminine energy coming forth in order to embrace that energy, in order to attract a relationship, in order to start the family, if that's where you're headed. So we're going to start here with this card. I got the Gaia deck. The first card here we get is 13, the Queen of Earth. Hopefully you can see that all right. I want to expand here a bit, see if I can do this. Nope, the other way. So I'll go like this. Okay, there we go. So the Queen of Earth, she is very much grounded. She is very much secure in who she is. She is very receptive. She is very graceful. She has all that she needs. And because she is graceful in her, and I wouldn't say gentle, but knowledgeable, grounded, because she has all the benefits of the other queens, and she manages to, how do I say, the imbalances of the other queens, the emotionalism of the Queen of Cups, the fiery adventureness of the Queen of Wands, the intellectualism of the Queen of Swords. All of those come into balance here with the Queen of Earth. She manages to level everything out to a basis where we are dealing with the complete balance, the perfect harmony within that character. So she has accumulated all of the can you get another word? Balance. She's accumulated all of the skills and used them to a degree that is not overblown in any direction, not underdone or overdone. It is done to perfection. So the Queen of Earth has really she's signifying to me the balance of all of these past queens. Okay. I'm going to leave that there. We'll go through, are we going to go through each? Yeah. Yeah, we'll go through each one this way. Now, the next Gaia card is 10 of Earth. Yeah, no. There's a woman here. Okay, I'm going to lift this up a bit. There's a woman here. She's got a mask. She's removing her mask. Just give me a minute. I got to tune in because there's some. Okay, they're going, just explain the card and then go backwards. So this woman, she's removing her mask and she's about to present herself to the world as she is from her core. I feel like this is her just before. So this is coming to the Queen of Earth, and this is just before. We may have been wearing a mask, or some of these feminines may be at a point here where they're more comfortable in revealing their true selves outward. They're saying, don't forget the masculine in this. Yeah, so I won't. So then this also can apply to the masculine as well as people are getting grounded masculine or feminine in an energy of removing that which others think that we may be, or other people have their thoughts of who we are. We are now, walking out of that and becoming truly who we are and making no excuses for that. This is the sense I'm getting from this energy exchange here. So the Queen of Earth, I feel like this is where we're at, but I feel like where we've come from is we are removing a mask quite highly and coming into our power here. Again, feminine or masculine energies. The next card is knowledge. Yeah, they're looking from the book of knowledge and ready to speak from it, go outward to it. It's almost a sense there, the fire's burning, is to take action on what we've learned so far, what we've seen so far, what we've come to learn. And part of that, I do think, is that realizing that we were either presenting ourselves falsely or not quite who we felt like on the inside, is the sense that I'm getting. Yeah, because we've learned, right? His back is to this mask, because this could go either way, but the back is to the mask saying, I've learned here that I do not need a mask anymore. I need to remove it and be who I truly am, who I am truly from the inside. Okay, next card. Ace of Wands, and go forth. Yeah. So, wow, this is neat. They're all dragons, the aces. The Ace of Wands, right? That's fire. That's movement, action, adventure, going forward. Again, eggs and creation is highly aspected here. Just give me a minute to tie this all together, because we're going in this direction. I feel like this can be a cycle if we don't learn or take our knowledge forward of what we may have. Some people here not wanting to remove the mask. Okay. For those people that are in development and not quite learning that lesson, they just will start that cycle all over again until they get sick and tired of being or portraying for others, really, because they're showing me like a marionette that's dancing for someone else. They're going to get tired eventually, right? You just kind of don't want to do that anymore. So there may be people still in cycles of trying to please others and to be what others think they should be rather than being who they truly are. And there's some people that are just really going to break out and move into a new cycle here and go forward and take action from what they've learned about the soul and spirit of who they are. And that's that Queen of Earth energy, or King of Earth, frankly, that'll come forth and show itself. Now, this card here I have, it was when I was shuffling with the clarification cards here, they said, take the one from the bottom. So I put it up and they said, put it separate. So they're going, we can play it at the end before the bumper cards. Okay, so we'll do that. Just checking. Because there's something here that will kind of overlay the whole reading, is what they're giving me. Okay, so to clarify, the Queen of Earth, again, a strong, stable energy. I am secure in who I am, and I'm going to go forward in who I am. And if you don't like it, that is your right to do that, but I'm still going forward in who I am. I'm not going to change who I am because you don't like who I am. Blah, blah, blah. When we're going, bringing it right down to basics. So on top of that, we got the chakra cards, and then we got my cartoon cards here, and then we got my cards that I made up. I didn't bring a title forth, and my printing process, don't even ask how it went. The energies, I'm going to go over the energies in the end, my personal experiences, but this is the reading that the cards they asked me to use. So we're bringing in the chakra cards next. To clarify, Queen Earth, the strength. Yes, this is the strength, right? She's gained all the strength of the queens before her. She has managed to balance them out, like I said, with a low vocabulary. She's balanced them out. She's brought it forward. She is in her power. Why? Because she has removed her mask. She is not one to be anything other than who she is, because she's extremely comfortable in that. And she does not really go out of that box for any period, because of the Queen, right? So that is her strength. And this will be your strength as well if you decide to come from it. So we'll leave it at that. Next card, the Ten of Earth. Again, the removal of any kind of false personality that we may be portraying for whoever we may be portraying it for. We get the Three of Coins. And this is about working together with others. And it's, notice how we're kind of in yellow orange energy. Working together with others. Okay, you know what? I'm going to turn this off. Doesn't seem to help. This being bright too doesn't help either. But you got these women, they're all kind of, this deck is highly feminine. So it's just all of them are women in here. But the idea is that we're all working toward a common goal. They're all bringing their tools to help her invest in that pentacle, right? And they're all gonna, play their part in making that happen. So there's a sense here. Give me a minute. Because, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did forget. They're going, we looked at this card and we in my mind, I was thinking, oh, I got to make note of that deer. And I forgot. Because we may have some people take note of us changing into this authentic self that we are working our way into here. And this deer is highly like in headlight because we may be shocking some people with our behavior, though it will not be us. It will be those around us that are highly unaccepting of this new behavior, whatever it may be, right? The validity of self is coming forth here. So there's that, okay? The deer in headlights, we're going to have people around us that are going to notice the change. Okay. And they're going, this card, they're saying those people here as well, here, that are in line to help us, we may get some flack there as well. We may have people walking away, but here is depicting the mindset we need to keep is to work forward with those that will work with us in our authentic selves. We need to gather these people more. Those that are not in cahoots with where we want to go, we just have to leave them be. So this is the sense here that as we realize who we are more authentically, there may be people in the background. And this one, I get a high sense in the background. Like there may be people, like whatever, like I can't believe or whatever. But that usually those type of people are the ones that are not really close to us, but they could be. So there's that. And then, of course, the people that are moving forward to help us, beware of that highly. This is a very sunshiny card, and usually it is about people working with us. But they said we also have to be aware of those who are not able to work with us, who are against us and who want to keep us down, so that we know what we're fighting against here, right? Because we're really trying to get to our authentic selves, to our happy place. And some people don't like to see us happy. And those are the ones that we kind of have to put a distance with. Okay. So that's really what I'm getting here. Okay. On top of the knowledge, again, we've learned knowledge here and we're ready to go outward and take action from what we've learned. And those that aren't are going to be looping, but those that are, 9 of Wands. Yeah, it may take some struggle for some. 9 of Wands is kind of like, she's carrying the flaming wand and she's going to continue forward because she feels like if we just put one more push in here, we can get through. Like, we've got a lot here. If you notice, the 9 of Wands, she's not carrying nothing but one flaming wand. So that means that, one flaming wand we can deal with. The 10 on our back, we can't. So the next card is the 10, and that's the one that becomes heavy because we just taken on too much. Here, it may be a mental thing here rather than a physical thing, and that's a metaphor for, how would you explain that? where you have a situation where things are heavy upon you, but it may not actually, the kind of like the burdens that we bear don't have to be as burdensome. Okay, give me a minute. My words are just not here. One final push, and we are tired. We have been through the mill. We have. Some of us have been, I feel, and not ready to evolve, is what they said, to simplify. Some of us here are just not ready to evolve. So it is very a hard road here, because all along we've maybe not done our spiritual work. We've not done our emotional healing. We've not done. So now it's coming down to the wire, and the universe is going, okay, this is it. We have to push forward here, whether we really want to or not. And again, some will choose that free will of not. But some here are going to decide, you know what, this is hard, and I've worked hard to get here. I'm going to try and push through, because they feel something inside them feels, if I just get through this last hoop, I'm going to make it through. And that they would be correct there in saying, in that instinct, that would be correct. And that is that flaming wand. That's why it's flaming, because there's hope here that we can get through. And not only that, anything that we don't know that's coming at us, we have that flame to bring us forward. Okay. On the ace, the new direction, the new, the triumphant way we want to go forward. What do we get there? The 8 of Cups. Ooh, this is, in order for some of us to go forward in this new energy, there is something here that we have to leave behind. That is why it is so burdening, in a way, not burdening, so hard. I was going to say treacherous. They're going, no, not quite. It's such a struggle, because there's things here that have to be left behind. And this kid, I mean, yeah, relationships being kind of paramount here to what they want to talk about, what they're focusing on from now till my next reading. There is really things here that people here that may not understand fully and completely, because they're bucking the system of evolvement here. And can you buck the system and not really, and intellectually feel like you're going forward? Yes. You could intellectually think you're going forward and spiritually be blocking everything that there is, because we're looking at it from an intellectual perspective. I spit that out. So it's our heart that's evolving. So if we go up in our mind and we start making logic out of everything, we're just not going to get where we need to be. And that's why I'm saying your instinct, highly connected to your heart, is really going to get you there. Yeah. So the 8 of Cups, really, there's going to be new adventures going forward here in new ways. But unfortunately, we're going to have to leave behind things that we may have put a lot of work and effort emotionally into something, someone else. We may have to leave that behind, because it is just not for our highest good. But again, this all depends on the evolvement process that you're going through, and the knowledge that you've gained, and how you utilize it forward. Okay, next row. So these are the divine cards. And then lastly will be my infinity cards that I made up this week. Okay. On top of the Queen of Earth and the strength, again, I was getting a strength that we are starting to embrace our feminine side, starting to go outward and be strong in who we truly are. We get the Emperor. So the Emperor, that is the, I gotta glare here, something awful. His sword is down, so he doesn't need to communicate, because he's an authority figure, and he comes forth quite highly with his own power intact. This is queen and king. That would be king of earth. He would, yeah, he is in evolvement just before you get to the emperor. You hit the king of earth and you move forward in strength and all that you've learned there, and ruling. Like the emperor makes decisions, he takes charge. Is this the energy that we're needing to go into ourselves, or is this the energy we're walking into becoming ourselves? This is the thing, right? And I feel like a lot of these people, this is the energy they're going to step into once they truly accept that this is who they are, right? Masculine or feminine. Because the emperor, people, he comes in a room, people listen, they stand at attention, and they pay attention because he knows what he's talking about. He's been through the mill, and he has the backing and the strength and the stamina to make decisions, and smart ones as well. So the Queen of Earth in her strength, and the Emperor, there's some people here walking into their strength, and some of them may be on the masculine side as well. Just give me a minute here. They're trying to. Yeah, I think I got it. Okay. So going on again, that energy of removing a mask. Once we remove this mask that we have shown to everybody, we are, all along we have fought to try and, how do you say, there's certain people in our lives telling us do this, do that, and we kind of we ebb and flow with them because we either don't want conflict, or we don't want to create havoc, or we don't want to upset someone, right? So we kind of do what they say, even though we know it may not be the right thing, or maybe we just don't check our instinct. We just do it, and we don't have time to tap into our instincts, so we just go with that flow. Now, some people here are trying to work toward a goal. Again, watch for those around you who are not in that energy, not wanting to help you for your highest good, not wanting to see you succeed. Watch for those and stave off. That's all I can say. Now, okay, I'm just going to continue. The Eight of Coins is the card we get here. Now, this is, again, this correlates highly with the energy they're giving me here. So the Eight of Coins is really here about struggling. You're working hard to get something done, but if you look closely, her fingers are bleeding and her toes, like everything she's working on is physically causing her pain. Now that could be reversed. It could be something that's emotionally causing us pain. Now, if we're talking about things that we need to let go of, it could be that we're really in a relationship here that causes us a lot of pain, but we continue to work ourselves to the bone on it, and we're not getting anywhere. Okay, so this is what they're telling you to think about, because even though someone may feel like, or you may think that your partner's working with you, in your heart, you're going to know yes or no different when you come from your heart space, not just logic where someone's going, yeah, okay, this, yeah. You can feel in your heart whether someone's heart is in it or out. Okay. And some people here, I think they really have to get grounded with the fact that we have to realize what's going on here. If we are not happy, we need to go to that partner and explain why we truly are not happy. And if that partner cannot give it to us or work towards making that happen for us, then we need to quit, playing with the barbed wire here, right? We need to drop that and go and work in a better direction. And I think this is, well, this has been an energy that comes through quite a bit here. Okay, so Nine of Wands, again, that's one final push here in the direction that I want to go. I have some knowledge that I've gained, okay? And again, you may have a relationship here where you've gained spiritual knowledge, where it's given you tools, new tools to move forward, whether it's communication tools, whether it's ideas of what really needs to be attacked here, There's a sense that we can make an accomplishment and go forward. What do we get there? We get the Queen of Swords. Okay. If you look in the background, she's got heads on a stick. This woman, she's kind of had enough and she's fed up. And the sword is up and she's ready to speak to those that come forth in any kind of way, shape, or form. Now, I do feel that this Queen and this card here are willing to give it one more shot, but not without some kind of compromise towards this Queen. I feel like there's knowledge here that's come forth to this Queen about a relationship or whatnot. It's kind of morphing. They want me to morph into that relationship energy, not just global stuff here. So if I'm going to flip gears here, there may be knowledge coming forth to masculine or feminine here, because I might have to redo a masculine feminine read, but nonetheless, update the energy. Give me a minute. Yeah, there's knowledge that has come forth to this Queen. She is fed up. She has put a lot of work and effort into an area here. She's willing to give one final push, but we're just not in the best receptive mode here to compromise. But if you make sense and you're in your truth, she might hear you out. Okay, so that's where we're at here. And I do feel that is connected to feminine energy. Okay, so as we go into this new direction, I feel like some of you are primed and ready to go. We've learned our lesson here and we're moving forward. And for those, we have the Eight of Cups, a sense of needing to leave something behind. We put a lot of work and effort, but we can't make it work. It's not for us. We realize that, this one last shot is, not working. So for those, the next card is the Queen of Cups. Yeah. So if you are in that energy of moving forward where we have left something behind here that we put a lot of effort in, I'm just going to go like this. The Queen of Cups is here with her compassion and love going forward. She's ready to move forward into something that is better suited. We're ready for an adventure. We have our passion and we have our cup of love, and we're drowning in the sea of emotion here. I don't want to say drowning as much as swimming, right? Because we're all good here. The sense that I'm getting is we may need some emotional healing, but for the most part, we're still willing to give it forward. The Queen of Cups is really willing to embrace that. Now, it's interesting here because this woman, she's highly kind of guarding that cup, right? Because we got all our emotions in there and we're kind of guarding it. So nobody can just jump in here. You can't just pour something in that cup. She's got to allow you to do it. And there's an inspection here, like each set of cards that I have. My dad always asks me, he says, why do you need so many cards? And it's because each deck, the artist and the creator depicts the cards in a different way, and that speaks to a different language. Here is, I have love to give, and I am in the depths of the sea because I'm in the coral in the bottom where everything is rooted. I have a lot of depth to give, but I am guarded nonetheless. So this is the sense. And again, needing some emotional healing, yes, but willing to go outward, yes. And that's the new direction that we have here with the dragon and his yellow spider web that he's starting to weave, right? Him and his dragon are going to start to weave a web in a certain love direction. And this is, we're hoping that we can remove our hand and let someone in here, because we had to let something go, and we may have to still do some healing there. Okay. So those are those. These are my, forgive me, like I said, it was a path here. They're in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sleeves. That's what those are. In case you're wondering. So this is my deck, my introduction to the deck. I'll probably do, maybe even tonight, I'll do a walkthrough of the deck. This is a one-of-a-kind original. It's not going to be, I'll be using it, nobody else. So the first card that we get to clarify the Emperor in his strength with the Queen of Earth, we get my yellow card is dandelions in a tree trunk. Okay. So I have attached Joy, well, me and Mike, or not Michael, sorry. Me and Metatron have worked on the words. I picked the graphics. They help me with the words to set the vibration, because color, it's kind of a mixed deck. I'll do, after this, I'll do a thing of it anyway. So I've got basically the golden ratio, right? Because this is a sacred geometry deck. So the golden ratio is shown here. The seed of life, how it unfolds in a spiral, and everything unfolds in a spiral. All these color cards are in that format. So yellow is talking about joy, identity. It also speaks to the ego. Brown is about comfort and home and about being humble. Now, this is interesting to me because you have your ego and you have your humble, and how they cannot coexist. It's either one or the other, right? You're either feeding your ego, or you're either feeding into your humble. And that's a sense I get here with this Emperor. Is this may be what these emperors are really trying to deal with this at this time. They're trying to get to their happy, which is their joy, which all of those things that make us feel excitement. They're dealing with their identity and their ego. Okay, the Emperor would be the epitome of a stable, high ego. Okay, so not overblown, but he pushes it when he needs to. So somewhat balanced, but he can get out of whack if things aren't, if he's in reverse. Brown is talking about the comfort and home. You know, Brown connects to a calming energy, a feeling of home and contentment, but also dealing with being humble. I do feel like the masculines are really battling their ego at this point in order to deal with this relationship. This may be the mask that they are trying to remove, which is the ego in the masculine. They're trying to get to their happy through their ego. Not going to happen. If they get into their humble and get comfortable in themselves, then they're closer to where they need to be to gain that relationship forward. Okay. So that's my card there. Now, the mask, right? And this, again, this can very well be the ego that is masking, right? Because the ego is really pretending to be everything that we feel that we aren't. Because if we were as confident as our ego, how do you say that? You don't need your ego to, because those that have high ego issues, well, let me put it this way, have the most fragile sense of self. Because those that have a good sense of self don't have to spew an ego outward. That's really what it is. Now, it could be the mask for some that they're losing. The Three of Coins, be aware of those around you trying to help you in that way. The friendship circle, be careful that either they're not masking some behavior for you, or you're not masking to them. And the Eight of Coins is also be aware of who and what you're struggling for. Is it worth it? Is it worth the pain? Now, the Infinity card we get, the Lotus flower. Would you look at that? This speaks to a very light, right? The ascent from darkness that comes when you can be in a codependence, in devil energy, or how do you want to put it? When you are just really unbalanced and flourishing in that unbalance. And could this be in the ego? Absolutely, it can. Can this be over controlling? Absolutely, it can. Right? There's a need to balance all of this out. Yeah, ascent from darkness. And I feel like this train here that we're on, this mask that we want to take off, I feel like there's people around us that not only will they be the deer in headlights, but shocking as they can be, but they will also be people that we have worked hard to help and do and cohabitate, commingle with. This is things that might create the darkness that we have to ascend from. So, because the lotus flower really does come from like the muddy swamp, and it grows in the muddiest of, it's just like sludge and slime, but it's the most beautiful, soft flower. This doesn't pick up well on, but it's a white background, but it's very soft, feminine energy, right? Because of the deck being geometry and math, which I associate with masculine energy. I thought I'd put some softness in here. And the lotus flower, talking about the ascent from darkness, and also the ascension process within that person needing to happen. Okay, next. So here we're talking about the knowledge that's going to come forward. For some, there may be some profound knowledge that does come forward here to really illuminate not only what their instinct is feeling, but what, there's signs and symbols are starting to pick up here on these things. Life is slowed down to a degree. There's no excuse not to use your instinct here. We should know, right? So the Nine of Wands, that's again, well, giving it one last push. And then the Queen of Swords is about, talking about boundaries and keeping boundaries. And I want this, I need this in this box. If you cannot come in this box with me and start the process, I don't even, this kind of thing. What do we get for the Infinity card? We get the hexahedron, which talks about grounding and earth. What do you know? There's a lot of earth element here. But it also speaks to the sixes. And the sixes is about past the tipping point. The five, we're in a 5-year. This is about changes, things happening. If you got a new job, you gotta get into it. 6 is starting, the first year in your job. The 5 is the move to the new job. The 6 is getting into the grind, starting to ground out into this new job. This is what this is about. So the hexahedron, mind my nails, they're all nasty. But anyway, the hexahedron really picks up the energy of the sixes. It grounds out and it's stable. The square is a stable unit. It's like a table. It's hard to tip over. It's, you know what I mean? This kind of thing. So we're talking about stability here. Yeah. For some, we may be trying to we get some knowledge about something here that leads us to an area that we want to make solid. Okay. But there's some boundaries here that need to be dealt with one way or another, either one partner or another, or one way or another. And I feel like whoever the Queen of Swords is making those boundaries, I feel like, yeah, somebody's just in the know and because of that knowledge, there's new boundaries that need to be kind of jumped through, hoops that need to be jumped through. Okay. Again, for those who are starting a new cycle here or going in a new direction, leaving something behind is maybe a process of dealing with emotional center here quite highly, and dealing with going forward and wanting to give out new love here, but having a problem in the area of emotions, needing to process. What do we get there? We get some more colors. Orange and blue. These are my infinity colors, by the way, but nonetheless, again, the golden ratio, right? Fibonacci sequence unrolling here. Orange is about freedom, expression, and enthusiasm. The blue is about loyalty, depth, and intelligence. I got to cut the intelligence off, but nonetheless, hope that says nothing about me. So orange and blue. The freedom, I think, speaks to what we have here. We may have had a cycle of something here that we just don't want no part of. We're gaining freedom from that. Why? Because we can express who we are in full capacity. Those that are still masking in this area here, they're not going to gain this. They're not going to have the freedom. They're not going to have the enthusiasm, and they're not going to have the inspiration to express themselves, right? And then the loyalty, depth, and intelligence just comes along with that freedom of expression and enthusiasm as they go forward. It kind of unloads the loyalty and all of that, the depth that we're going to feel as we move forward here, because we can be truly who we are. And we don't have to hide anything. And that creates the greatest freedom ever. Like if we're in a relationship where we have to pretend to be somebody, that's very limiting. It's very, it's just something I almost can't fathom. Being in a, and I think that's why I've been single for so long. It's just because I will not allow that. I will not allow someone's oppressive energy upon my own. And if they can't see you being free or can't be happy for you being free, then there's a problem there, right? There's some healing there that needs to be worked with. So orange and blue, man. Freedom of expression and enthusiasm. Blue is about loyalty, depth, and intelligence. I cut it off. But anyway, speaking to, right, what we've learned here, we gain knowledge in a relationship. Could have been a past relationship we gain knowledge in. We go forward in our strength with power. We realize what we did and didn't want here. We realize where our struggle sat, and we rose from the darkness of that. Right? And I mean, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. But these are my 4 new cards. So, we're going to play the card that they told me to keep for the end here. I'm going to put these away. Clear the table here. To focus. So there is one special card. And this energy, I feel like there's going to be a download. Heavy. 2 of Wands, decisions that need to be made about, right, this feminine energy. Are we going to truly become compassionate in who we feel we are from the center of the universe? From the center of the universe, from the center of our universe. Are we going to be truly who we feel? And embrace the energy of the divine, unfolding within us. Are we going to embrace that or try and hide that? That's the decision I really feel like people are coming to the precipice of, because there's people that are evolving. If you're connected, if your feet are on this earth, you are evolving. There's nobody left out here. But you can choose to not go with that flow. You can choose to not go forward in that. And that is putting a mask on, because the inside of you is growing. and it just wants to sprout out. And if you resist that, then this is the choice that you make. And that's the cycle that's going to continue to repeat here. So the Two of Wands is really, what road are we going to take here? We have, let me see. Yeah, it is. That's right. Sorry. They're cluing me in. We have the Ace of Wands, which was really this card. The Ace of Fire, right? That's this direction of going forward in a new direction. A new leaf is sprouting here. So we're going to go forward. And this here, interestingly enough, is the key. It's made out of metal. It looks strong and sturdy. It's where we've been. We know all there is to know here. But they're saying, let's stretch ourselves a little bit and go forward in new growth, right? New growth forward. Because this is a key, but we've been there, done that. Do we want to keep been there, done that? Do we want to just keep going in that, I'm seeing that hamster wheel? Because some people will continue to do that because that is their choice. It's not going to be comfortable because the universal energy just does not support going back to what you know. It supports you growing and moving forward. And those are those little sprouts. And this is this little dude here that wants to start his little web going forward. So isn't that interesting? There's a choice that may be needed to be made for, the path forward here is really what I'm getting. Okay, the bumper cards. I'm going to go with the planetary card first. We have the Sun in Aquarius, which is fun because the moon is in Aquarius tomorrow. It's that blue moon. But nonetheless, 11 is about partnerships, two ones, right? Partnerships, two mirroring. So a lot of us may be in mirrored relationships that are mirroring us in order for us to grow so that we can evolve to the next relationship that is also good for us, better as well. And it says here, readiness for change. And that's really what the universe is getting us loaded up for. There's an opportunity to go forward here. Are we going to take it, or are we going to stay in a mode where we know what we're doing? Or can we stretch and jump like the Fool into a new energy and not, the safety, right? The safety's off is what they said. But we don't know, we know where we've been. We've been through that. But we don't know where we haven't been. And we haven't been through that. And that's what they kind of want you to jump into. So the Sun in Aquarius, speaking about opportunities coming forth for you to open your world up into a new way. This is the new growth, right? And it's talking about Sun, which is all good, great, and groovy. Okay. And then I got a, what is the name of this deck? Oh, TLC for the Soul card. And it speaks to rising higher. Would you look at the color? Look at the colors are the same. And it's all in the cloud, like just crazy. Notice guilt when it arises, but see it only as a warning sign. It is used as an instrument for the soul to notify you of having stepped out of alignment. Then rather than pummeling yourself with berating thoughts, it's enough just to refer to your conscience and inquire within. Ask yourself, am I being honest? Ooh. For some people, that's huge. Being honest with their life. Are they happy? Period. That's it. Are you happy? If you're not, you need to seek happy. If it's not there and you've put in all the work there and you can't get anywhere there, it's somewhere else. Okay. Sorry, had to stress that. Is there something I need to see about myself or another person that I may not want to see? Sometimes what you want prevents you from recognizing what you need. Your soul will always bring you to what you are truly in need of. And while the truth can be uncomfortable, it's vital to acknowledge it and act on your sincere thoughts and feelings. Again, the lack of mask, right? Rise above yourself through humility and by engaging the light of truth. This, I feel, is coming down heavy for a lot of people. Those that were in denial for the longest time, we just cannot go. We cannot go there no more. So the universe really is trying to get you out of your unhappy into your happy. And if you were in denial that you were unhappy for whatever codependent or reason, or really it comes usually down to that, some kind of codependent reason, you will be shown highly. It will be hard to resist the truth here because it will be glaring. And if it's not glaring, it'll be more so. Like it'll just keep compounding until we choose to rise higher. And that's that cycle that's repeating, right? So, wow. It's all up in the clouds here. And it's interesting because they bring us up in the clouds, which is the air, which is the intellect. But it's the heart that we need to follow, not the intellect. But we can't leave the intellect behind. We have to use it with our instinct commingling and with our heart commingling. And the instinct is always there. So there's a decision that may have to be made quite highly in relationship cycles here. And we may not want to see the truth of that, but the universe, this is what they're going to be working on highly to get you to see very clear. And again, it all has to do with the happy. If you ain't happy, you ain't where you need to be. So that is the reading for the energy. As far as I can take you into the next energy report. Wowzers. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of different stuff here through these ISIS cards. Again, they don't disappoint. But I really, until this year is over, spit it out, Sean. The buckle of the beloved is what they're focusing on. And I'll tell you, that's just the energy that they're bringing, is coupling up. And unfortunately, some people are in denial of where they need to be. So this is going to be highlighted. And again, they want you to rise higher and higher heights. So if you're on autopilot or everything's just okay, we might have to look at that differently. And again, opportunities will come in. And some people, it may be someone coming into view that is just exactly what we're looking for, but we didn't know we needed. That kind of thing. So need and want. Interesting. Okay. So you know what? I'm going to be back in about 15 minutes here. I'm going to show off my new deck. I'm going to do a walkthrough real quick. So that is the energy report. I said I was going to come in here, or I said I was going to, yeah, they're reminding me because of my memory, to do kind of an overview here. So give me a minute. I got to take this guy out. This lunar energy that's coming up on the 22nd. Again, I'm tapping into this dude. Oh, I should have wrote his name down. Anyway, he channels energies and whatnot. I'll have to write him down in the list there. He was picking up this energy switch of the 22nd. Okay, I'm not going to even, how you say, try and say what he's saying or what they're saying. But what I get instinctively is after the 22nd, the energy is going to increase. Like, this is an apex for the energies. So I'll switch over here. Well, no, I'll leave it. The 22nd is a full moon. And how I find, okay, personally, on full moons, man, if you go and you do a reading, man, you could see through the person you're working with, through every link they have. It's like a clear day where you can see 10 miles down the road. That's what a full moon does psychically to me. Because of this Aquarius full moon, blue moon stuff going on, it is even more so and more profound for the future. Meaning those that are of high frequency will it's kind of catapulted. They're going to go, you're going to be shot forward. This is really what they explained to me. And I don't think anybody else that's in this state is going to be that far off either. You're going to be catapulted into an area here where the energy is just going to increase. The flow is going to increase. Your abilities are going to increase. Everything is, again, we're all in evolvement, but there's people in resistance. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be in resistant energy. Those that are accepting and are in the flow over this time, you know, consciously aware, makes a huge difference instead of just kind of riding a wave and splashing when you hit shore. It's like, no, we're going to go and we're going to ride it right through that cylinder and we're going to go right to the end. And there's a different feeling when you're in that wave than you are watching somebody else go through it. So that lunar energy is really going to hit, like I said, hit an apex where all these people are going to be magnetized. These high energy people are going to be magnetized to their abilities. They're going to be magnetized to the openings. They're going to be magnetized to the opportunities. And they're going to fast track and go. Those that are in chaos mode or cloud mode, meaning really clouded over, where we're not clearing our mind, we can't make sense of anything. These people are going to get lost in the shuffle, really. So unfortunately, I kind of couldn't give warning of that. I had my own cloud to clear up. But this is what I'm getting over this time. I mean, it's never really too late, but on some people, it is just too far to go. But I will continue. The relationship status right over this time. I think if we are in confusion about where we're going or what we're doing, this will be cleared up. And not only that, once we get the clear up and we get down the road where we're supposed to go in our frequency, then the relationships are going to start bang, bang, bang coming in. The flower of life is the unfolding of, you know, the job or the career or the new life path that you want to go on. I feel like a lot of these people that are of higher frequency are really getting, it's like you're on the tube and you're just flying down the river. You know, you're right in the stream of energy, and there's some people on the side, they're just hanging on the trees and they're just drinking their beer. They're fine there. But there's the middle current that's pulling everything. This is what's happening. Okay. So it's the best way I can explain it. Is that all we wanted to discuss here? Just give me a minute. And again, the choice really is yours. You can pick the road that you've been, because there's some people here, they're going to pick the road they've been because they're just in a daze. You know, and there's so many things outside of us that keep us in a daze, the internet and everything. I mean, I'm one of those people, I do that, but I'm trying to make more time for non-daze material, meaning those things that keep you in habitual ways. Now I was looking, they were telling me, I don't know if that was, I think that was Metatron. Because he's saying, we need you to clear up your mind because you're getting in a daze where we can't connect properly, can't ground out. And then he's showing me all this stuff about how to clear the mind. Hey, Rachel, thanks for coming in. Yeah. The mind is very important. And again, the dude that I had these readings, these channelings from was stressing that as well. And it was interesting because a lot of the tactics that they were spawning on or saying on that show was really what I was doing already. And I didn't know. They were guiding me to do it. And it was like lifting your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Like that's how I fall asleep, is with my tongue to the roof of my mouth. And it's supposed to help with clarity, clearing the mind right out so that we don't have anything going on. Because all of this stuff that like TikTok is probably one of the worst. Facebook, all of these social media sites really, where you're scrolling through so much stuff in so short a time, and it's just spinning your head, and it's training your brain to be short-sighted. It's training your brain to be instantaneous, like next thing, next thing, next thing. And it's just getting it to the point where we're not able to think straight anymore. We're not able to think properly anymore. So if you can at least relieve those things in the evening and go to bed with a clear mind, because it's just, it's that hamster wheel of the mind, and it's that habitual, like there's certain things that I look at and I'm like, man, they're trying to get them to just short circuit that brain so it just don't work properly. And for some people it is, for kids it is, because this is all they know is that flip, 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 flip. So, you know, new. Like we can't pay attention for more than, what is it, 3 minutes that they give you, or 60 seconds? Like it's, you know, so it's something to keep in mind when you're trying to calm your brain. Is that stuff really is training your brain to go in the opposite direction we really want to go, which is calming, cooling, and keeping the looping behavior at bay. So just I'm stressing that. They were explaining that to me, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. Because there's a certain point now I can't even sit and watch a movie anymore without going, I'm done here. I can't sit for, you know, and it's like, no, I used to be able to sit and enjoy a movie, a 2 hour, you know, and keep the attention, but they are training your brain. So just be aware of that. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. So 2 of Wands, there's definitely, where are you going to go? Are you going to go with the new energy where we're uncertain and we're unclear, but we can grow quite highly? Or are we going to go back to the energy that we knew everything about? And because of this, we're going to stay stuck. So this is really what it's about. So yes, I'm the same. Yeah, it's interesting, raising higher. So thanks for coming in, Rachel. My one little viewer. But yeah, I didn't announce this or anything, and I do that. So I'm going to come right back here. I'm going to gather up my cards, and I'm going to put them in order, and I'm going to show you my new deck. And I will be using this more on the energy, maybe even on the masculine and feminine reports, to get deeper into Metatron type energy, which is really real deep in, well, sacred geometry was what the title of the deck is, but also just deeper vibrational stuff that has a micro and a macro meaning. So meaning it affects you, but it also affects the whole. So you know what? I'm going to look it up on my phone so I can, Sam the Illusionist, he gets a feed, man. It's the same as what I get. And because I deal mostly with Metatron, I have my guides and whatnot that I do readings with, but it's mostly Metatron. But his name is Sam the Illusionist, and he's got a YouTube channel. He just does channelings, and he'll come in and say a little blurb, and then he'll do he films his channeling, and then he explains what he understands, and it's the same feed of stuff that I get. So it's very validating for me, but it's also, you know, stuff that you could utilize. There's a vibrational factor there. I feel like there's some people that will get certain things, and then some people may not, you know, maybe reject it. But if you go into those videos, at each stage you advance, you'll get something different, is the way that I interpret it. 21 to 24. Yeah. So it really is the catapulting. So your decisions over this time. Now I'm kind of late on the button here, right? Rachel, but right at this time over this period, like literally today, keeping the mindset positive, keeping your head clear and your vibration high as you can, even if you got to play like 80s music that gets you going or whatever. Like me, it's music. So I just crank the music. Try and stay in your highest vibration over this time. as much as you can, because this is where they'll catapult you. And how do they catapult you? The opportunities will come in. But if you are in the wrong vibration, you won't see them, you won't notice them, you won't take advantage of them, this kind of thing. But here's the kicker. The universal energies at this time. Now, okay, let's get this straight. There's universal energies celestial, and then there's universal energies on the earth that are contributing. Now, the celestial energies trying to get you guys going forward, giving you every motivation and every shortcut, like this is a shortcut. Try and stay positive for this week. Like if I would have realized all this sooner and didn't have so much going on in my life, I would have gave that message out. But the bottom line is those that need it, or of the vibration that can handle it, will get it. You being one of them. So, that kind of thing, utilize that forward. So you're getting this win, so you're meant to go there and you're meant to do that. So what was I saying? Yeah. Tips and tricks. Don't feel like you're going to miss anything, or don't feel any anxiety over this time. Just absorb it, keep it high, keep it peace. That's really what it is, no matter what. What else was I going to say? There was something else in what you said there. Yeah. 21st to 24th. So see, what they told me was 22nd was the apex, and then it will slowly dissipate as the days go. Now, it usually takes me 5 days to ground out after a full moon is where I can ground, because over this time I'm like usually flying really high, vibration wise and insight wise and whatever. So you might find that as well. Another thing, I meant to keep this kind of tight here, but I don't even know what I'm going on. But anyway, dreams and dream time is very loaded. Like I don't remember my dreams. I don't get dream. I've been getting dreams. I'm remembering that it's intense. I'm getting huge energy, information that's highly valuable in my perceptive, like, what I need to perceive and whatnot, what I need to understand. A lot of what they've been giving me is things like you may have a situation in your life where you're confused, you don't understand what's going on, and you may or may not be asking for answers in that way. I was, and I woke up and I got the answers to the questions. The characters are a little off, but the situation, if I put it into what I needed help with, it's like, oh, what do you know? It kind of jives with exactly what I'm asking, but you may have character portrayals be a little different up in the dream time. But yeah, they're highly active there. And if you're an energy worker, I don't know if you are or not, Rachel, but well, yeah, service. There is a service here is what they're saying. Just give me a minute. So we will be affected in that way is what they said. Yeah. So, and if you're someone that just has dreams, whatever, you will they will be intensified. So they may be dreams that you have that just may be more intense than they normally are, or like they're more real than your real life, this kind of thing. That's a huge signifier that of things. And again, they work on things in our dream time that we can't figure out, or maybe too busy with other things in our here and now. So hopefully that helps you as well. Anyway, I'm going to tie this up here because I'm working. I'm working on an hour and a half. My God. Okay. Anyway, take care, guys. Yeah. Sam the Illusionist is the dude that channels all this stuff. And like I said, as far as I understood, he was a hypnotist, and he kind of came across this channeling stuff because he's out there, right? And so I find him very valid, very good soul energy. And if you get anything out of that stuff, it's all good, because it's really seems to be the same source that I come from as well. In certain areas, I don't get all that he gets. I deal with Metatron, and there's a lot of grounded stuff that that he gives me in that way. So I'll put my phone away. Sam the Illusionist. But I'll try and put a link up before the weekend's over. So take care, guys. Oh, whoever sees this, thanks, Rachel, for coming in and commenting. It's usually pretty quiet, but I don't announce. So take care, have fun, and be kind. And I will be back in a few to show off my new deck that I made. Okay. Take care.